obstacles in life. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to win the game. To learn more, I want to, you know what I mean? I want to become a really polished speaker. I feel like I'm improving every day in all areas because the reason for that is, guys, I'm spending $12,000 a month on different coaches. I felt like a slave, but that was the best thing that ever happened. Forget about making money. Let's work on your mindset, your health, and your skill set. Money will come.
All right, guys, welcome to another edition of the Phone Warriors podcast, where we are bringing you people that we know and agents that have done tremendous things in their real estate business and also personal life. And so Rich and I are here, and we have Eddie Oberoi from the Silicon Valley, California. Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you, guys. You're too kind. Thank you for your kind words. Appreciate it. Good to see you both.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Very much for being here today.
Absolutely.
All right, man. So let's get, I want to get into one of the topics that we have today. And I think it's one of the things that I've always, as soon as I met you, you had this aura of confidence and just a presence about you. And I think it stems from the topic, which is mindset. I know we talk, it's been around forever. We heard the word mindset. What does all that means? But, what is your definition of mindset, and how do you look at like working on the mindset every single day going forward in your business and life?
I feel that having a strong mindset is the number one thing in life. Okay. Be it work, be it finances, be it relationships, be it dealing with obstacles in life. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to win the game. Okay. And mindset is interesting because it's something you need to work on every single day. Every single day, got to work on it. I think there's a quote from Zig Ziglar. He talks about, motivation. They say motivation doesn't last. Neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it every day. So you gotta do it every day, man. You gotta do it every day. And for me, just a little quick background. It's not something that I was born with it. I was struggling. I've been in the business for 24 years. 2007-8 happened, the financial crisis, and I had to file bankruptcy. I had the shittiest mindset. I was drinking every day. I was just like lost. But then I ran into this book, Miracle Morning. Okay. That just kind of changed my life because it talks about having a good morning routine. And I think that's where it doesn't matter what time you get up, 4, 5, 6, 7, doesn't really matter. But as long as you're just kind of breathing, you're calming yourself down, you're working out, you're writing down your goals, you're doing affirmations, visualizing, all that stuff can lead to a better mindset every single day. I mean, it's getting cold. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the last thing I want to do is get up, but then yeah, we'll keep talking, but go ahead, Deep. Yeah.
No. So I guess the one question that I have, and I know, and we'll talk about your book in a little bit as well. But one thing that I've always found interesting is your immigrant edge, let's say, and that's something that now, do you feel like it's a clear advantage that you have with everything and knowing a little bit more about your story from the book, or do you feel like it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's something that happened to me, but didn't define who I was with my mindset around that?
That's a great question. Immigrant mentality is definitely, it's very inspiring when I watch other immigrants and their stories, and it just inspires me to do better. But I think in my case, it wasn't just that immigrant mentality, because when I came to the US, I was 16. I was just mad. I was just pissed because I was working in a restaurant, and something happened which changed my life, because I was, it seemed like my future was set. My brothers, they owned restaurants. I was going to work in a restaurant and, flip burgers or whatever I need to do. And that was my life, and not a bad life. Being an immigrant, maybe become a restaurant owner. It was a decent life. But what worked with me, or what pissed me off, which motivated me to do better in life, was here I am, 16 years old. I'm mopping the floors and I'm cleaning toilets and I'm taking shit from customers, and I'm watching these other teenagers on dates having their burgers and shakes, laughing. And I'm like, wait a second. I don't think it had anything to do with immigrant mentality, because I was just pissed at that scene. I still get really mad. Like, dude, I'm not gonna tolerate. I'm not gonna be here. No, this is
You want
not. This is not what I want. I want to be on the other side. I want to be the one fucking ordering burgers and laughing and going on dates. You know what I mean? This is not what I want. And I told myself, hey, I'm just gonna really work on self-development journey, because because being an immigrant, owning a restaurant, and having a wife and kids, not a bad gig. It's good life. It's a good immigrant story. But I was like, no, I want more than that. I want to be able to speak properly. I want to be able to write books. I want to do public speaking. I want to polish myself. I want to look good. I want to feel good. So that fire was ignited by that experience. I don't think it had anything to do with the immigrant mentality, because most people who come as an immigrant, they're not 16. They're usually in their 20s and 30s, right? And then that's all they know. They're like, hey, we got to work hard. But I was in a different situation. I was 16, and I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to be white. I wanted to be black. I wanted to be Hispanic. And I went through those phases, because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be American. So
Wow.
so that was the difference.
So you're 16 years old. What did you do once you realized that? What did you do? Like, how did you change it right there and then?
The funny thing was, it was just perfect storm, and perfect things would happen, because that during that time, Tony Robbins would come on television infomercials at night. I don't know if you remember those. You were probably really small. You were probably what, a year old. But back in the day, it was very common infomercial. So he would be on for like an hour, and I was like glued to the television. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. He talked about self-development, self-improvement. And I ordered his cassettes or CDs back in the day. I saved $100. I got those, and I just started working on just improving myself, taking, English lessons. I have a communication coach that I've been working with for the past 11 years. And we still 5 days a week, we talk 30 minutes a day, So, because the goal is to take this, whatever I have going on, to the next level, write another book, do things like this. There's no way I could have done this 7 years ago or 10 years ago, but now here I am talking to you guys. I'm feeling very comfortable because I've done it so many times, and I'm willing and able to learn more. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to become a really polished speaker. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
And what made you, did someone recommend a communications coach, or how did you get introduced to that? Did you seek that out, you're saying?
I seek that out. I seek that out. I want a communication coach. I want to be able to, because I was very conscious when I was 16. Things happen in your life, they stay with you, right? I was told I was dumb. I was told I was ugly. I was told I wasn't smart enough, So those things are like, they're big blocks, right? Like, oh my gosh, maybe I am dumb. Maybe I'm not good looking. Maybe I don't deserve it, right? So those were really big obstacles. When somebody tells you and you believe in it, because you believe in it, eventually somebody tells you you're dumb. That's why you got to be careful when you talk to your kids. You want to be careful, because I feel like verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse, because it sticks with you. If you tell a child, hey, you're dumb, you're ugly, it sticks with you. I still feel I'm ugly, believe it or not, because it stayed with me. You know what I mean? Because again, it's just the way people talk to me, or when I was young and things happen. So that's why it's super crucial to understand that it's really important how you talk to people, how you talk to little kids, especially. So yeah, it stuck with me, and I was like, no, man, I'm not gonna tolerate this. I need to get better. And here I am.
And how long did it take you to get better from 16? 7 years?
I haven't stopped. I mean, man, I feel like, and Dean, you've known me for a few years. I feel like I'm changing every week, every month, every year, because I'm polishing myself. This is like, today I weighed like 166 pounds, 160. I've never been this light.
You look it. You look great.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm improving every day in all areas, because the reason for that is, guys, I'm spending $12,000 a month on different coaches. I just don't have a Mike Ferry coach. I have a business coach. I have a communication coach. I have a memory coach. I have Chris as a nutritionist and a physical trainer, you know.
Wow.
So I have all these coaches who I talk to on a regular basis, and they put me on track. You know, they keep me
Wow.
on track. And if you're talking to a communication coach every day, and if you are working out every day, and if you're eating right every day, if you're making your contacts every day, if you're role playing every day for an hour, if you're doing all of the things and you go home, shit is gonna happen. You know?
So with that said, Eddie, so here's one thing that comes to my mind. And the one part of your book that jumped out to me was when you were working those double shifts and you had like an hour of sleep, maybe if that. I think you just went the whole night and you just kept going, right? Back in the early days.
Yeah.
So with that experience, though, that clearly you had this moment of time in your life where you were able to figure out work ethic at the highest level, like borderline like slave labor almost, it seemed like. But do you feel like with all the work, this is where I'm going with this question, is that you're paying $12,000 a month for coaches, with all the work that you have to do with the homework from those coaches, do you feel like if you didn't have that experience with all that work ethic, that you would still be able to do what you need to do that is recommended by the coaches in order for you to become who you want to become?
Good question. I don't think I would have been here if it wasn't. I would give all this credit to my brother, because when I came to this country, instead of, oh, let me get you a therapist, let me get you a communication coach, Eddie, here, have a seat, take it easy, you know. No, he didn't do that. You know, I remember landing in Salt Lake City March 19th, 1991, and we hang out till 1 a.m. He wakes me up at 7, like, oh, what's up, let's go to work, like the very next day. And what he did, he made me work for like 3 months in a row, not even a day off. And by the way, I did not even go to like Safeway or Walmart. I was just working. That's all I did, worked and slept. And I cried. I felt like a slave. But that was the best thing that ever happened. Because what it did, it was like, eventually, you know, I got better at my job. In 3 months, I got better than people who were there in the restaurant for years. I'm like, fuck this, man. I got this. I can do it. I can do stuff. And then it instilled the work ethics that you're talking about. But I didn't have that before coming to the US. I was a very lazy kid, not very smart, very average student. Wasn't good at anything.
Yeah. So that almost like spearheaded your ability to like see that in a short period of time,
exactly,
that with the right work ethic involved, like, and that was the best gift that your brother. Now, do you talk to him about it today and do you laugh about it? Is it more like a, hey, thank you kind of thing? Or
no, of course, I tell him, I thank him for, you know, bringing me here to this beautiful country, number one. And number two, I thank him. And he's read the book. He's like, man, I was rough on you. I'm like, dude, thank you. Thank you for being rough. Thank you for not, you know, giving me a therapist. Thank you for not, oh, Eddie, take it easy. Why don't you take a month off? Just relax, get to know the culture. No, like, get to work. I love it. I call that hands-on training.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And his way to go.
Yeah.
How many hours do you think that you put into yourself for you to either become, I don't want to say a professional, but just like a professional, like in your field of what you do in real estate and then your personal life? How many hours a week are you working on yourself day in and day out? Because I feel like some people spend 15, 20 minutes on themselves a week and some people put 0, but like, how, like, you know, did you put that 10,000 hours in for you to make yourself feel like, hey, listen, I got this. I'm mentally strong now?
Yeah. Well, there are two parts to this question. Number one, are you talking professionally or talking personally?
Both, because I feel like they blend together.
Okay. I feel the same way as well. And this is when I talk to my team. I'm like, guys, forget about making money. Let's work on your mindset, your health, and your skill set. Money will come. So I agree with you. But I would say I've been spending anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week ever since I was 16. I'm 48, 32 years, 60 to 80 hours. And during the 60 to 80 hours, I worked, I got my MBA, I went to college, I wrote my books. I filed bankruptcy. I worked on my body. So, but that's the kind of, yeah, basically 60 to 80 hours a week at least for the past 32 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I am a little bit, I'm enjoying my life a little bit more now for the last 4 or 5 years. You know what I
Okay.
mean? 'Cause it's always been a struggle. You know, before when I was 16, the struggle was I couldn't even speak properly. You know, that was a struggle, right? Then I graduated from college, Utah State University. I came to California. I couldn't find a job. That was a struggle. Then finally I got into mortgage business. That was a struggle in the beginning. And then 2006, 7 happened, lost everything. That was a struggle. So I I feel like we have never arrived. The minute we think that we have arrived, game over. It's you're going downhill. Because in life, you've never arrived. You
Mm.
can be like, hey, I'm gonna retire in 5 years and I want to live happily ever after. You retire, you get a heart attack, you know, you got a stroke, you can't even walk anymore. I mean, it's life is always a struggle. And I'm sharing this because I'm not making this up. I know people who have done that, right? They're like, oh, I'm retiring, then they get sick, or they die, or they have issues like getting a crazy divorce, going through a crazy divorce, or kids being just dumb. And you know, life is challenging. So we've never, you know, whenever you hear like, oh, I just want to retire and chill. Well, guess what, honey? You're never retiring and chilling because you may do it for a month or so, yeah, but sooner or later something's going to come up knocking on your door, be it health, be it your kids, be it a divorce, be it financial crisis, be it the economy, inflation, wars. And that's how I feel.
So thank you for sharing that, by the way. That's powerful. We have a lot of California people that are in the Phone Warriors group and also in the Phone Warriors community that prospect with us. I understand your average commission checks are pretty high, right? What would you say your average commission check is right now on average, let's say?
35,000.
35,000, right? So you have some pretty big months because I see the volume of deal flow that you actually do now. Okay. So speaking around the complacency, which is what I'm that's like the one word that's coming to my mind with people when they say retirement and everything else like that. What would your recommendation be for anyone that is in, you know, either a higher end market like that they get these checks or whatever? What do they have to connect to in their mind to keep on going when, you know, you have this like just river, I feel like, of motivation and just like all these other things that are just driving you, people, what they said about you, all these different things. So I guess the question is, what would you recommend to agents or people in general that are looking to be like, okay, well, I made 100,000 this, you know, this month, right? Or I made 80 grand this month. For a lot of people, that's a tremendous accomplishment in real estate. So I guess, what do you say to those people that want to keep on, you know, going and they feel like I want to take the foot off the gas now?
Um, first of all, you have to know your why. Like what, you know, if your why is, you know, making 100,000 a month, and then once you get that check and you just take off for 2 3 weeks to Hawaii, uh, or sooner or later it's gonna catch up to you. You know what I mean? You're gonna run into financial issues because that doesn't last, right? So you have to know your why. And I had the hardest time knowing my why. I just figured it out like 4 or 5 years ago. My why is like personal development. I just want to keep at it, you know, with Chris, be it with Mike Ferry, be it with you guys, be it with my accountability partners. I want to keep sharpening that axe. That's my why. And 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 to answer your question, how to get rid of complacency, just one word: accountability. You know, accountability. Like it's funny when you logged in, I was eating and I literally haven't had a chance to even go take a shit. I'm just like here. I swear to God, I'm just here and just back to back my meetings and calls and now you guys and I love it. It's called accountability, right? You reached out to me like, hey, okay, let's put, because what it does is when I do these podcasts or interviews, it actually helps me because it reminds me of what my purpose is, right? So if you want to get rid of complacency, first of all, figure out what your why is and then set accountability around it. Because I can say, hey, my why is self-development, but then I have no accountability. No, I have self-development, but then I'm spending 12,000 a month. These coaches checking on me. Hey, Eddie, what are you eating? What are you doing? Are you making contacts? Are you doing this? So kind of, you know, when you have that kind of accountability, you're not going to have complacency because you're looking at people like DK or John or Brian Burnett. They're killing it in every field. Like, dude, fuck this shit. I want to do it. You know what I mean? So I think that accountability, and you can swim with the ducks or fly with the eagles, right? So you need to find some eagles around you, because it's right when they say you are the average of 5 people you most talk to. So I think having that kind of accountability, not with just regular people, just people who are go-getters, like, let's go. Because when you're hanging out with those kind of people, then you would feel guilty not making your contacts or cheating on a meal, because by the way, I do all of the above. I cheat on a meal. I don't make my contacts sometimes. It happens. It's life. We're human beings, right? But you're gonna perform at a higher level when you're looking at other people who are watching you.